Good morning. I'm so glad to see you here today. To begin our worship, we ring this bell 3 times. The first is to call us back into covenant. We are on the unceded land of the Muwekma tribe of the Ohlone people. They were displaced, colonized, their land taken, and many of them killed. Now they seek to regain their land as well as pass on their heritage, their customs, and their culture to their descendants. Everything we do to restore their rights, equality, and sovereignty is working our way back into covenant. The second bell calls us into relationship with ourselves and one another, to recognize broken promises, unsealed hurt, lingering scars, where being right was more important than being whole. We intentionally gather to invite an ever-widening circle of compassion, commitment, and solidarity until we are all beloved to one another. It really rings a long time, doesn't it? And the third calls us into relationship with our children and our children's children out to many generations, helping us to realize that what we do now or what we fail to do will be felt by those who come after us.
Good morning. I'm Chris Schreiner. My pronouns are he and his, and I'm delighted to be here offering the opening words, which will be a little unusual this morning in that instead of giving you a talk, I'm going to lead us in a meditation. This, of course, is the General Assembly Sunday, where we're talking about the larger movement of our denomination. And so I think it's interesting to reflect for a while, just in quiet time, on that larger movement. So I invite you to enter into a time of prayer, meditation, or reflection, each one of you in your own way. And it might be good to look down or close your eyes just so that you can go within and really focus during the meditation. So take a few deep breaths as you relax your body. And in this quiet time, each of us can be open to the highest and the best that we know. For some, that is God, or it might be our highest values or our own deep wisdom. Tune into whatever is highest and best for you. Feel yourself here at Mission Peak Congregation with the people in this room and in Zoomlandia. And then expand your awareness to think of the roughly 20 UU groups in the Bay Area. You may or may not know where they are, but just imagine or recall there being about 20 of our congregations right here in the Bay Area. And then think of all the UUs in the 13 states of the Pacific Western region of our denomination. Hawaii, Alaska, Oregon, Washington, and California. Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. 200 churches. And imagine that you can magically look down from above and see into these 200 sanctuaries. Give yourself that that superpower for a few minutes. What do you see? You see them lighting their chalices, singing songs from you hymnals, meditating, praying together, reflecting on spirituality and relationships and social issues. Enjoying each other, caring about each other. And now expand your vision to look down at our congregations all over America, around 1,000 congregations. People in these congregations have many different theological and philosophical beliefs, but they're united by common values with love at the center. Take a moment to realize how unusual, how remarkable and special this is, finding unity through common values with love right at the center. And now imagine you can see the children in these 1,000 congregations. Children and youth who are learning that life is about something greater than their own narrow self-interests. That is so precious. And now notice whatever you're experiencing at this moment. Take a few deep breaths. And open your eyes when you're ready to.
Good morning. We are going to light the chalice. We're going to use the words we use down in Children's Chapel. Hi, Max. Nice to see you. The lovely Maya is here to help me. Remember that this is a chalice lighting that involves some body movement, so feel free to give yourself a little wiggle. And just imagine yourself as we light this chalice connecting with all those children that Reverend Chris mentioned all across the United States as we light this chalice. So we start out with our hands like this, and we say, "We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. May this chalice we light today lead us as we explore, share, and play."
Good morning. Welcome to Mission Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Stephen Longfield, and I am a former member of your board. This is my last time doing board announcements. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, it's the hardest part of being on the board is the board announcement, right, Jay? No, it's all a lot of fun. I encourage you, if you've ever considered joining the board, think about it for next year. We're so glad you've joined us this morning. I'm going to start out by highlighting some announcements. I think we actually don't have any announcements this week. Nope. All right. Unitarian Universalist is a radically inclusive, non-doctrinal. Oh, Max, do you want to help? Hi. An open-minded and open-hearted faith. We are different people who are all coming to truth from different paths. We gather together across different identities, experiences, and beliefs to affirm and promote the inherent worth of every person. Together, we see our job is to love the hate out of this world, heal the hurt in ourselves and in others, and to be the change we'd like to see in the world. If you're here for our first time, we welcome you. Here's a bit of information on how our hybrid services work. We use chat and Zoom or a book near the welcome table to share joys and concerns, personal milestones of importance, which we read aloud in the service. We also have a social hour after the service where we get to visit with one another in breakout rooms or in the patio. The worship host will give you more information about this immediately after the service. Someone from our membership team will put a link to our weekly newsletter in chat so you can see all the events coming up. We encourage you to join anything that speaks to you. We also put our welcome email, welcome@mpuuc.org, to request a newsletter or other information be sent to you. If you're here in person, our welcome table is right over there, and you can ask any questions you may have. Finally, please make sure that your mobile devices are silenced and your iPod isn't knocked over. We are so glad to be together today. And let's end by asking everyone in Zoomland and everyone in Cole Howell to wave to each other to feel the joy of being one large, beloved community. Welcome and thank you to our members near and far.
Hello again. I did not introduce myself before, so I will now. Good morning. My name is Ariel Smith-Iyer. I am your Director of Multi-Generational Community Building. Good morning, friends. I have a story for you, so if you want to come down, put some seats out. There's actually a little basket with a couple of new toys if you want to check it out. While you're making your way to the front, I'll just tell you a little bit about the story. Hi, Max. Some of us were here last night, and we're very excited to be together again this morning, amazingly. So. This is a story written by someone named Julie Regano. I met her this summer because I got to go to GA for the first time, General Assembly. Really, really special experience. It's going to be in San Jose in 2 years, so Mark your calendars and try to come if you can. Julie told this really beautiful story. It's about a family, and I want to tell you about it. It's about a family that goes to their local pride parade. Raise your hand if you've ever been to a pride parade. Anybody? I thought maybe. Cool, cool. Raise a different hand if you were here last month when Reverend Johnny came and preached in drag for our pride service here. It was really amazing. If you missed it, it's on the website, and I highly recommend you check it out. So the story I'm going to tell goes like this. Once upon a time. That's my favorite part. Can I do it again? Do you want to do it with me? You got your hands? Those of you online, I trust you'll do it as well. So take your hands up like this, and we say, once upon a time. Beautiful. There was a young girl named Rosie who loved her family very much. She had two dads in her family, Daddy and Papa. And every June, they would march in their local pride parade. Rosie loved to march in the pride parade. She got to wear all kinds of rainbows. She loved rainbows. This year, she was wearing a rainbow dress and rainbow socks and even a rainbow headband, maybe like this one. She proudly showed off her outfit to Papa in the kitchen. Picturing it, Rosie, rainbows head to toe. Then Daddy came in. But instead of rainbows, he was wearing a bright yellow shirt with a sun on it. Daddy, why are you wearing a sun shirt? I thought we wear rainbows at Pride, Rosie asked. Rainbows are absolutely a symbol of pride, but I'm wearing my own personal symbol of pride, the sun. The sun? Rosie asked, confused. Yes. Just like the sun shines its light all over the world, we're going to shine our pride everywhere, regardless of what people do or say, Daddy explained. Papa chimed in, and of course, you know we need the sun to bring out what comes out when it rains and the sun shines? Rainbows. Can I shine like the sun too? Rosie asked. Daddy picked her up and spun her around. You shine like the sun every day when you live your life out loud and exactly who you are and nobody else. Be like the sun, Papa said, and spread your love and pride everywhere you go. The world will be a better place for it. Friends, the sun does more than just spread light. It provides warmth and energy and keeps our planets in orbit. I wonder what it would be like if you were a source of warmth and energy, if you shone your light in a way that helped keep us all moving forward to a world where everyone is included. With that in mind, please rise in body or spirit, which is how we UUs say, please stand if you'd like, because we're going to sing a song. It's a repeat after me song. It'll be fun. It goes like this. Do you let the light in? Do you let the light out? Do you let the light out? Do you shine? Do you shine? Really shine? Really shine? Do you dance with the light? Do you dance with the light? Does the light dance with you? Does the light dance with you? Do you shine? Really shine? And now for a song you know as the kids and I head out. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
We take up a collection on Sunday for the simple reason that our purpose in gathering is for more than ourselves. We want to make sure that the ministries that we need, the ones that infuse worth and dignity into our children, our youth, our programs of learning and leadership, and our ministries of anti-oppression and our work in the larger world are in place to meet the needs of others. We hope that you'll make a contribution toward these worthy causes by mailing your check to Mission PQU congregation at the address on the screen. You can also use the bill pay option on your online banking or drop your check in the Mission Peak mail slot or pay online with a credit or debit card. Thank you for supporting and sustaining the efforts of our members, friends, and staff. Your contributions make loving, learning, and leadership more possible.
Hope and meeting, especially in the hard times, is the love and support that we show to one another. If you have a joy or concern that by sharing with this caring community might bring the encouragement or resilience we are needing, please write it now briefly in the chat if you're online. And if you're here in person, you can use the book that's over there on the Joys and Concerns table. And if you are here in person and you would like to place a stone for a joy and concern, you may do so while the music plays. If your need is personal, you can contact me for a follow-up conversation. Okay.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
and one more stone to express the joys and sorrows that are still held within our hearts.
Good morning. This year's Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly 2025 Ware Lecturer was Amara Jones. The following is distilled from the UUAGA website. Each year, the UUA president, in consultation with the General Assembly Planning Committee, extends an invitation to a prestigious guest to captivate the General Assembly as the esteemed Ware Lecturer. The General Assembly in the past has selected lecturers including Dr. Linus Pauling, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Shirley Chisholm, Dr. Ibram K. Kendi, Dr. Monty Perry, and Julia Watts-Belzer. Amara Jones is an award-winning journalist, thought leader, change maker. Amara is known for challenging the conventional thinking and inspiring bold action to transform our world. Her work has won Emmy and Peabody Awards, and in 2020, Amara was featured on the cover of Time magazine as part of the New American Revolution Special Edition. She is a 2021 Nathan Cummings Foundation Fellow and a 2019 Soros Equality Fellow. She serves on the New York City Commission on Gender Equity and the boards of the Transgender Law Center, Anti-Violence Project, the LGBTQ+ Museum, and the New Pride Agenda. Amara Jones is also part of the Move to End Violence, and she goes by the pronouns she, her. Amara Jones was a dynamic speaker. The following are excerpts and quotes from her Ware lecture. Anti-trans politics has become the tool of authoritarianism. The religious right uses, which used to be called evangelical Christians or religious conservatives, is now the distillation of that movement, which is white Christian nationalism. They believe in a hierarchy of people with white Christians at the top, followed by those less deserving and less important. They target these others to make them less human and therefore acceptable targets of cruelty and erasure. They believe the second coming of Jesus has not happened because people's bad behavior. They believe that they need to get rid of people that Jesus would not favor. Amara Jones polled the audience. Most people admitted that they first started thinking about trans people about 10 years ago. This corresponds to the time that the Heritage Foundation started their campaign to target trans people. They got together a network of people who said that they were radical feminists, but also anti-trans. This group was used to spread concerns about trans people. When we accept their targeting of trans people, we open the door for targeting other groups and eventually all of us. Trans people only make up about 1% of the population, and their smaller numbers makes them easy targets. For example, UPenn was targeted by Dr. Donald Trump because of their rules supporting trans people in sports. UPenn has no trans athletes, so the concern was manufactured. The consequence of saying that you don't want trans people in sports or using the bathroom of their choice is that your children can have their bodies searched to affirm their sexual identity. So what are solutions? The way to counter the role of anti-trans politics is playing in undermining democracy is to actually care about trans people. From the pews to the public square, justice isn't a concern we admire. It's a verb we must practice. Justice is a verb. Act. If someone says something anti-trans, speak out. If there are no trans people in your task force, ask why not. The Roman philosopher Cicero fought against tyranny. At the end of his life, he was contemplating what led him to support the tyrant Julius Caesar, followed by the tyrant Mark Antony. I got here because I wasn't looking at the tyrant in me, he wrote. I supported them because the tyrants said that they would get rid of all those people that I thought were harmful. Cicero intimated that he now realized the error of supporting those whose promises you like, but whose methods are tyrannical. If you're looking for Bernie Sanders to be like Donald Trump and make you all those negative things that you don't like go away, then you're not pro-Bernie Sanders, you're pro-tyranny. Avoid the people who say they will save us by any means necessary. Rather than looking for strong men, it's really important to remember the answer is us and living by the principles that we say that we believe in. Thank you.
Hi, friends. I picked this song because I saw the headlines one day and I heard this song playing at Starbucks, and somehow it rang a chord with what I was feeling about looking at the latest headlines in the news. It was very popular in the 80s. I think it still is resonant today. As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of insanity, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? And each time I feel like this inside, there's something I want to know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? And I walked on through troubled times. My spirit gets so downhearted, and sometimes. So where are the strong? And where are the trusted? And where is the harmony, sweet harmony? 'Cause each time I feel it slipping away, it just makes me want to cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? 'Cause each time I feel it slipping away, it just makes me want to cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
Okay, I'm going to talk about what's happening in Unitarian Universalism in 2025. I've been going to nearly every UUA General Assembly since 1995. So what does that make this, the 30th one? It's close to that anyway. And each one has had its special characteristics. For those of you who are not familiar with it, what General Assembly is, it's a yearly meeting that the whole denomination has to talk over business about what's going on in the association, what do they want to be behind, what efforts they want to support, and also a lot of different presentations and workshops from all kinds of different people. So each one of these GAs has had its own special characteristics, and this one I found was true. So the three key themes that I saw throughout were echoed in many of the sessions and chosen special social action issues. They were support for transgender people, support for immigrants, anti-racism efforts, and a defiance of authoritarianism. So that's what this denomination is right at this moment, right behind, or most of their efforts are behind. The Acts of an Immediate Witness, or AIW, is a statement about a significant action or event or development in the world that necessitates immediate engagement and action among UU member congregations and groups. The actions of immediate witness that were chosen this year were we declare and affirm that immigrants are people who have inherent worth and inalienable rights. Immigration is the first policy arena that the U.S. government has chosen to test the extent to which people are willing to look the other way as it escalates the use of authoritarian and autocratic measures to carry out its agenda. In recent months, we've witnessed escalating authoritarian and autocratic actions. The second AIW that was voted for was Faithful Defiance of Authoritarianism, a Call to Action, reaffirming our covenants for democracy and freedom. Cast off the cloak of isolation and transcend our differences, both within and beyond ourselves, to defend the guarantees of just law, constitutional integrity, equal justice, meaningful separation of powers, due process, and the freedoms of speech, press, and assembly. The third AIW was Defending LGBTQ Freedom Amid Funding Crisis, a call for global solidarity. The attacks on LGBTIQ communities represent a coordinated global movement of oppression that demands our unified resistance. Anti-LGBTIQ legislation, rhetoric, and violence in one country emboldens similar actions elsewhere, creating a dangerous cycle that threatens progress everywhere. When we defend LGBTIQ rights globally, we strengthen our own movements locally. When we advocate locally, we contribute to global liberation. And this was something that in Kathi report on the Ware lecture that was given, that was like front and center, the injustices that have been done to transgender people and that have been specifically chosen by right-wing groups because they think that enough people are going to be able to be against transgender people so that they felt like they were safe in attacking them. Something we need to fight. The congregational study action issues are issues that are selected by the Unitarian Universalist member congregations for 3 years of study and reflection and action. The purpose is to provide UU congregations with an opportunity to mobilize energy, ideas, and resources around a common issue. The end result will be a deeper understanding of our religious position on the issue, a clear statement of the association policy as expressed in a statement of conscience, and a greater capacity for congregations to take effective action. The CSAI that was chosen this year is Abolition, Transformation, and Faith Formation. So this was something that was proposed by a large congregation that is non-geographical, that has UUs everywhere are part of it, and they have a significant number of prisoners who are members of their congregation. Abolition is a holistic approach to systemic social change that includes, but is not limited to, the abolition of slavery, replacing system and cultures of violence, coercion and control, with transformative justice and relational practices, and dismantling the prison industrial complex as we now know it. It requires the transformation of our society and the replacement of our current public theologies of retributive justice and violence. And I should mention that there were two other possible CSAIs that received fewer votes. One of them was housing, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that one I actually stood up and made a speech encouraging people to vote for that one, but it didn't win. And then another one was fat liberation, bringing justice and inclusion for larger bodies, and both of those were beaten out by the abolition CSAI. So Mosaic. I attended sessions on implementing anti-racism, Mosaic. Mosaic is an online hub of connection, resources, and support for UUs for dismantling racism and oppression. Through resources, programs, trainings, groups, and gatherings, the Mosaic fosters belonging and liberation in Unitarian Universalist congregations and communities, and it contains a platform which gives UU values and theologies that guide our anti-racism work, an anti-racism resource library that anybody can access online, a Mosaic Congregations certification program, which is coming soon, that is similar to what like the welcoming congregation has been, where congregations take on the project of becoming a Mosaic congregation by engaging in certain anti-racism activities, and that's something that our Arrow team is going to be looking at to see if it makes sense for this congregation. And there were lots of BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color connections. There's lots of different groups, and there's links to all of those groups if you're interested in participating. Okay, this year was a new moderator selected. The moderator serves as Chief Governance Officer of the association. They preside over general assemblies and at the meetings of the Board of Trustees of the UUA and of the Executive Committee of the UUA. The moderator also represents the association on special occasions and assists in promoting its welfare. This year, there was elected two co-moderators, Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson and Bill Young. Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson, she, her, serves as the minister of the UU congregation of South Fork, Bridgehampton, New York. And she's been has lots of UU experience. She's been on the boards of the UU Service Committee, the UU Women's Federation, and Black Lives of UU. She's also served on the boards of the St. Lawrence Foundation for Theological Education, New York UU Justice, Long Island Area Council of UU Congregations, and UU Class Conversations. Before ministry, she worked as a union organizer for the United Auto Workers. She continues to teach women's and gender studies with a focus of diversity and difference as an adjunct professor at New Jersey City University. And she has a dozen nibblings who make her a very proud auntie. I will also say that I took a class once from her, an online class. She is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And in my position on the board of Equal Access, which is a denominational anti-disability organization, we invited all of the people that were running for moderator to come and talk to us, and she came and talked to us and just, blew us away. We thought it was wonderful. Her co-moderator will be Bill Young, him, who's been a trustee on the UUA Board of Trustees since 2020, while also serving as UUA secretary. Prior to that, he was on the UUA Appointments Committee and the president of the Clara Barton District from 2014 to 2017. He was aboard and served as a treasurer of Equal Access for nearly 10 years, and I have the utmost admiration for the way that he is able to handle administrative stuff and figure out all the arcane type of things that we have to follow a path through wherever it is we want to be. So I think he is wonderful. He's been a member of 3 UU congregations since being a young adult and involved on almost every committee and leadership role, serving as president of each of those congregations. And he's currently chairperson of the governing board of the UU meeting of South Berkshire in Berkshire County, Massachusetts. He's a licensed clinical professional counselor and a board-certified national clinical counselor. He primarily works in nonprofit behavioral health organizations on their planning, financial management, change management, and governance. He's originally from Chicago, and he now lives in South Lee, Massachusetts. He and his wife have adult children and grandchildren that live in the US, Mexico, and China. I know him very well because he was on the treasurer of the board when I was on the board of Equal Access, and I have a very, very high opinion of his administrative prowess. I think with this pair, the UUA is in very good hands for the next 6 years. Their term is for 6 years. Okay, there's a new hymnal, a new virtual hymnal. It's called Sing Out Love. It's an online collection of hymns, songs, chants, and other musical resources. For example, it has slides to project the lyrics. It has audio snippets and a tool to transpose the hymn into any key that you want to transpose it to. It's a web app, and it can be used on a smartphone, tablet, or computer, and it's an online resource. New hymns can be added continually, so it isn't going to be just a one-shot thing. It's going to be continue to hand new things. They will have 50 new hymns, and plus a bunch of the existing hymns that we have in our hymnal will be unloaded on it. It runs, there's a subscription rate that depends on congregational size that you have to use this hymnal, and for us it would be $192 a year, so I think that's worth it. So how is this different from other GAs that I've been to? There was not as much controversy. Last year, Article 2, the new statement of Unitarian purpose, was a hot button issue and had lots of issues and debates that were going on. And this year that there was none of that. That was over with. All votes on any issue were held after the session ended, so there wasn't a lot of arguing back and forth in the session. It was, people stated their position, and then when the moderator would allow people to say pro and con things, they said their pro and con things, but the vote wasn't until after the session was completely over. And it was all online. All the voting was online. So you had to, have an account, and it would tell you which things you were voting on, and then you could click what you were voted. The hybrid format of GA was sometimes confusing to figure out, now where is it that I look? Is it on online, or is it in person, or what is it, And I think once we get used to it, that confusion is going to get away. So that this time forward, the intention is to have, this was a hybrid General Assembly, both in person and online. And next year it's going to be all online. There won't be any in person. The following year, in 2027, it will be hybrid, and the place that it will be was San Jose. So we are going to be probably one of the congregations that is going to be asked to help out on putting that various different activities in place for that in 2027. The opening worship was all online, even though you flew to Baltimore to attend General Assembly. The opening worship was only online, and you had to go into your hotel room and bring up your computer and watch it. And there was a lot of people complaining about that. Why did I travel all the way to Baltimore and I can't? There's no banner parade, no opening worship. I mean, there was opening worship, but it was only online opening worship. So one friend of mine called it a joyless GA because of this. I don't know if I would go that far, but there was a lot less emotion at the beginning, which usually, revved up emotion at the beginning, and there was a lot less of that because there's no banner parade. They did have an online banner parade. Our banner was one of the ones that was in it, but it was just showing, picture after picture after picture. And when it's in person, people carry their banners, and there's a lot of hoopla, people carrying their banners around. So anyway, that was different. Yeah, I think they probably, when they asked for comments about reflections, I think they heard a lot. My guess is they heard something from me, and I know others said the same thing. That's not a good idea to have a only online worship to start out GA. And then finally, the service of the living tradition, that's a service where new ministers are welcomed, and other ministers are retired, and it's a big worship service. They usually have some very well-known UU minister giving the sermon. This year they had no minister. It was a director of religious education giving the sermon, and her sermon, the entire sermon, was a story. So she started out with a story, and then at the end of the story she said, "The end," and then she sat down. So very different, and I think it was kind of nice. The gist of the story was that organizations will be saved by their young people, and I think that's true. And she had a very unique way of showing it. And then finally, I wanted to explain my own personal experience to Baltimore. My great-grandfather, that's a picture of him there, his name was George Kolsky. He immigrated to the United States in 1879, on June the 21st is the day that his boat landed, and it was in Baltimore that it landed. So I took, being an amateur genealogist, I took some time and went and found out more about that. They had a little immigration museum there and stuff. And one of the things I learned was, I was always wondering how did he get from Baltimore to Nebraska, which is where he was going. And it turned out that the pier that the ship landed was run by the B&O Railroad, and there was a railroad tracks right next to the pier, and the people literally got off the boat and into the train, and then they went off to wherever they were going. And it's quite an operation, and there was this one particular ship that went back and forth to that port from one of the ports in Germany, and it went back and forth like that. So this really meant a lot to me. So I had a really great time. Took a lot of pictures of him and of the location and everything. So that is all that I have to say. And join me. Oh, thank you. That's the first time anyone's ever clapped at a GA sermon. Okay. I invite you to join me by raising in body of spirit to sing the closing hymn, Morning is Broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the springing, fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, eating soft bread. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
But not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. We carry in our hearts until we are together again. And from the benediction. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace.